On today's episode of the Tristian Clunis Real Estate Podcast, we talk about a new record high for the Greater Toronto Area in average price. We look at 10 years of real estate in the Greater Toronto Area and what happened. What did real estate do? Why you need, not want, why you need to invest in real estate. So go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment below. Let's start the show. What's up, everyone? Tristian Clunis here, and welcome to the Tristian Clunis Real Estate Podcast. I am your host, Tristian Clunis, and I have my co-host / protege. You already know who he is, Mr. Wes Hype.
Bro, just say host and move on.
I will not say host.
Just say
ever.
host and move
we
on.
will fight. We will do this every single.
Nah, people are tired of it.
On
Just
episode 200, we're gonna be doing this. You better believe it.
I'm your host, Wes Hype,
he's
at
not.
Wes Hype
Nope.
on Instagram and all other social media networks. Hey, people, welcome to my show. So, what's up, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing, bro? For those that have been watching the show, usually Wes comes in, the hoodie or the T-shirt, and looking, just looking regular, average in the whole nine. This guy decided to put on a blazer. So you know what they used to say, like, are you going to court? Or, you remember you used to say that? It's the worst. If you see a man in the hood and all that, you're like, yo, bro, why you wearing a blazer, dog?
Yo, you going to court?
You're going to court? Yeah, court?
I'm not
wrong, by the way. But
that's very wrong. It's very wrong. And I actually think that somehow you're offending me right now.
Wow.
But
Jeez.
I'm not going to court today. It's actually, I don't really want to tell the real reason.
Please tell I need to know. I don't even think I know. I don't know the real reason.
Well,
tell me.
I'm taking some photos today, but I'm reluctantly telling this story.
Let's hear it.
We're on episode 6 today.
Today's episode 6, yes.
By the way, we have 75 subscribers. We're moving on up in the world.
Keep subscribing. Let me just make a comment. Subscribe right now. Like, comment below, please. Go ahead.
This podcast at 6 weeks has been a real commitment for me. I'm not usually committed to things like this, especially doing it in the morning. And there's certain aspects of us working on this whole project that has changed my life a little, such as Tristian has me getting up at 4 a.m.
Let's go, boy. Let's go.
Jogging by 5 a.m.
Let's go.
I never would have done this before, and I guess in that same kind of going down that realm and the things that we're getting involved in, I've decided to take some pictures that look a little bit different from my normal entertainment pictures. So
I did not know that, bro.
Yeah,
this
so
is interesting. This is very interesting to me.
I'm evolving. Or diversifying. Let's just say
Ooh,
that.
Chris, I'm diversifying.
I'm diversifying.
And you had the glass. Do you usually have the glasses? I don't know.
I
I
always
can't
have my
remember.
glasses.
Okay, fair enough.
These are different glasses.
Got you. They're your diversified glasses. I would call them.
I'm diversifying.
Fair enough. I like the look, bro.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, I mean, we obviously are doing a lot together, and the fact that I'm definitely seeing you waking up early. Wes comes from the entertainment world, as he said, and normally he is waking up around. You can't get Wes like around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. If it's 1:30, you're not getting Wes. It has to be around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, guys, because he's been up. When I remember there was a time when I would wake up at like around my 5 o'clock or whatever the case would be, and you'll be like, just going to bed. Going to bed.
Often when you were waking up, we'd have a hour, 2 hour overlap where I'd still be working,
pretty much,
and you'd be getting up and starting your day, and then and
then I'll call you a couple hours later, and you're out. I won't get you until 3 o'clock in the day. So this is very interesting. I'm loving it. I love the blazer. It looks good.
Thanks, brother.
Not bad at all. So what we got today, man? What are we talking about today?
Let's get right into Ask Clunis.
Okay.
I have the first question for today. Seeing as let's diversify our questions here.
Okay.
So the first question,
diversifying.
We only have 2 questions, but the first one I'm gonna have a little fun with. It's my friend Tiana that asked this question.
Sure.
And she said, "When are you and Tris going to be guests on Family Feud?"
Interesting.
That's what she proposed. She said that our dynamic would be very.
Guess on Family Feud. How would we do that though?
Because it would be a blended family.
Do they do that?
Yeah, they actually do that. You can.
I didn't even know that.
There.
I thought it has to just be all under the same last name or a same name.
No, if they sometimes do close friends, especially if it's like if there was like any type of, what is it? Like they'll do in-laws, they'll do cousins, and they do best friends sometimes.
I had no idea.
I don't know if we're best friends. I don't know if we're in that.
We're
category.
brothers, bro. We're brothers, man.
Hey, man.
I
don't want to just insert myself into your family.
We're past that. No, that would be interesting.
It would be dope. It would actually be dope.
That would be interesting.
It'd be very
the
very
Canadian
funny.
family. So hold on, I want to know from people. So comment below. Which one do people even do they watch the Canadian?
Yeah, let me say still.
Family.
It's only in its second season right now with the comedian what's his name?
Jerry D.
Jerry D.
I love.
Yeah, Jerry D.
I'm a big. I am a huge fan.
It doesn't have the. It's not. He's not Steve Harvey, and it's not all
but
of
he's
America.
hilarious.
They're not in their 10th season. Well, 100th season overall, but even 10th season with Steve Harvey. So is the viewership a lot smaller? Yeah, but Canadian Family Feud's doing their thing,
I think
bro.
if they were to add in like clips on like YouTube or on social
some
media,
of them make it across, but it's just
some
not,
of them do, but not as much as obviously with Steve. But they have years, of course,
years
right?
of it,
and
much bigger or more well known, I should say.
More money backing them probably as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. Put that in the comments if you'd like to see Tris and I as guests on Family.
Are you quick on your feet? You're pretty quick.
I'm pretty quick, but but here's the question: Who's leading? Who's leading the family?
Well, I'm obviously leading the family. Chris, that's a given. I'm obviously leading the family. Tristian Clunis as the leader. There's a leader. That's usually the first person. Yeah, I'm definitely the first one. No, just joking. You could be the first one. I'm not gonna allow that.
I guess we could be the Clunis family. I guess.
The Clunis? Can Wes and I was gonna say if Wes and can that be tied
together?
Wes? No, that can't.
So T, to answer your question, I think we'd both be gung ho on the Family Feud.
T, I'm down for that, girl. Let's do it. I'm down.
The next question I have here, So by the way, guys, if you don't want your identity in these questions, we have no problem protecting your identity. The questions and the information is for everybody. It's good for everybody, but we don't have to put our business on the road.
Right.
Like the people that have that we say their names, it's because they've opted into their names being said. And anybody that wants to remain anonymous, just let us know. Put the zip lip emoji, and we do that. So this person did that. I own my house currently. I own my home currently. Is it possible for me to buy an investment property with 5% down?
So you currently, the anonymous person currently owns a home now in their name, and they are asking if they could put down 5% on an investment property, a second property, essentially. Yeah. So they'll be buying another property. So at a time, yes. Maybe not 5%, actually. Maybe like 10% or something like that. There was a time when you probably could do 5% on both, right? But they changed the rules over the years. Mm-hmm. CMHC now only allows you to have one property under CMHC, under their insurance. So I say that because if, for whatever reason, if they did put only 5% or less than 20% down on their principal residence that they currently live in, they won't be able to take advantage of another 5%. Then the second property and additional properties will have to be 20% or more.
Gotcha.
So just to clarify, if they currently own their home and they put down on that home less than 20%,
yep.
That means they would have CMHC insurance,
yes.
Which means that they will not be able to take advantage of less than 20% again. They will have to put down 20% or more on their second home.
Gotcha.
Whether it's a cottage, whether it's an investment property, they would have to put down at least 20%.
Got you. So if they have a home currently and they've put down more than 20%, then they may actually be able to apply for CMHC.
Then that's a different story, right?
Yeah,
so then there's situations where they can look into how they can get that done. But yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So I hope that answers your question.
I hope so. Anonymous person there.
We did all anonymous questions last week when we had Sean on. We didn't say anybody's name and stuff.
People don't want to. They don't want their business out there.
Yeah. Sometimes they do. They want to start time on the YouTube.
That's
Put
true.
it on YouTube.
My name is 123.
It's
Bella 123.
with the good hair.
Done already. Yeah, go on with it. Oh,
so we have another record.
Sorry, one thing. My shoulder was going. I don't know why I had to do this, but
we spoke about this. That's apparently
I did this
your
the last time as well.
That was when you were out and wild.
What up? You don't know already. Yeah. This is how I feel like.
Yeah, I would prefer if you didn't do that.
Okay.
To be honest,
right.
You just stop at any time.
No,
no, you started when I said stop.
The shoulders Crickets? Really? That's what you're gonna do to me, Chris? All right, that's fine. Chris is a snake. That's fine. No worries.
Record-breaking month.
Yeah, man.
Yet again.
Yes. So we just got our stats in, and it's been very interesting because we all thought, actually, we already know that the market was insane.
Yes.
The demand has been nuts. Every house we're hearing is going multiple offers. Every house is going for $1 billion over asking price and the whole nine. So we thought that the market by this time, which is we're right around June, and we got the May stats, that the market would have slowed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Some areas may be experiencing some slowdown, and just really slow down, not drops. That's a very different. People think dropping and slowing, a market slowing down and dropping is the same thing. They're not. Like slowing down just means that it's not. The average price is not. The appreciation is not jumping the way we've seen in the past, right? So it's just slowing down a little bit. I say that because we just got the June. It's June right now. We just got the May numbers, and the May numbers are showing that the prices have risen actually for GTA. So for all home types. Now again, this is the average. This is the average for all home types in the GTA. So some areas may be experiencing some slowdown. Some areas may just be, it's still going, right?
Yeah,
it really,
different.
It really depends on where you are.
Things are happening city to city, but from the GTA, and once again, we talked about this last time, but the GTA includes Oshawa to Oakville.
Yeah.
Everything in between.
Halton region, Durham region, Peel, York, like obviously Toronto, all those surrounding regions that are around Toronto, those are all included in the GTA. So,
and what is that big number? If we're looking at the GTA as a whole, the new record-breaking number is
the new record. So this is year to date. We're at $1.108 million. So over $1.1 million, guys, for all home types. So normally when we were saying this, I remember there was a time when Toronto was already there, but not GTA.
Yeah.
GTA is including those small areas that have a lower price point. Like if you mentioned Oshawa would have a lower price point, although Oshawa is doing great right now.
Yeah, Oshawa is amazing.
Amazing, right? But they will be obviously lower than an Oakville. Like the average price in Oakville right now is like $1.4 million or something ridiculous. It's insane,
crazy,
right? So it's very interesting to see that the market hasn't. It may in certain pockets it may have slowed down, but for the most part, the market is still continuing to increase. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Average price.
And you were giving me on our drive up here, we're talking a little bit about historically over the decade. You had those numbers again. The decade of increase in this GTA was an amazing number for me.
Yeah. So again, when we look at numbers, so we're in June right now. When we are looking to figure out what's going on in the market, we look at May numbers.
Okay.
So if we're in June, we always look in the previous month, obviously,
because
that's the full 30 days that we currently have, right?
That makes sense.
So, and I say that because I'm going to go based on May. So if we look at the last decade, I'm going to give you the average price. I'm just going to kind of rock your world a little bit right now because it's very interesting. The average price, May 2011.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, the average price. Would you guess how much it was roughly for GTA for all home types? You have no idea. 400. The average price. That's actually pretty good, buddy. He said $400,000. Our producer said 400,000. The average price for all home types in 2011 May was $485,000. Not bad. You're only 85 off. Not bad. Yes, clap for yourself. There you go. So that's 2011.
Yeah. Fast forward 5 years.
Fast forward 5 years to 2016. The average price in 2016 May was, can you guess? 6. So Chris says 6. I think he already knows it. He already knows the numbers. He already knows the numbers. The average price in May 2016 was just over $750,000. So from 2011, May 2011, we were at 485.
Yep.
And then May 2016, we're at $750,000. Yep. You guys just heard what I told you. I just gave you the number for 2021 5 years later. So now we're in present. May 2021, the average price is over $1.1 million. And that's for GTA. So that includes, I mean, I know when we normally say stats, we just think of Toronto. No, this is for anybody that's living in those regions. That's the average price. Yeah. So you go from 485 in 2011, May, to 2016, May, $750,000 to over $1.1 million in 2021 May.
That's crazy.
And we talk about real estate, is it a good investment? I mean, what do you want me to say to you guys, right? Like,
and really and truly, we're not even hitting our full potential right now.
No, not even close. So like, it's very interesting because if you were to think about the fact that we're seeing the multiple offers, we're seeing the crazy demand that we're currently getting.
Yeah.
Even with that, our borders are still closed.
Yep.
We don't even have, and I said, I've mentioned this in multiple podcast episodes. We don't even have our full potential yet because the borders are closed. We don't have immigration. We don't have the students, the international students. We don't have the tourism. We don't have any of that. We're trying to keep up with just the demand right now, and we're not even adding in the demand that's coming when the borders open. One thing that I want to mention, and it's so interesting because we were in our meeting, our office meeting, and we were talking about, we had somebody that mentioned something very, very interesting to us. For the Greater Toronto area, just to be up to date with demand, if we were to try to catch up, actually no, let's back up. We are going to be down 100 to 150,000 units over the next 3 to 4 years. Based on the government's plan to their immigration plan.
Yeah.
So let me just make sure that's clear.
That's a big number. We touched on that before. We said that even though we had the record number of cranes in all of North America,
Toronto's number one.
Yeah,
in
meaning
North America.
that we're doing the most construction in our city at one time. We still have a shortage.
Yeah, so it's so funny because you have people that walk around or drive around and say, "Oh my gosh, all these cranes! Why are these people living? Why they keep building?
Why they keep building
there's
that?
No
I hear
way
that all the time.
There's no There's no way that they we could fill all these cranes fill in all these buildings and all this new construction that's happening. They're constantly building. Something's gonna happen, guys. Yeah. We're not even keeping up with the current demand. We're going to be short 100 to 150,000 units over the next 3 to 4 years, based on the federal government's immigration plan. So that means, so let's put it into perspective. They gave us another stat, which is very interesting. That works out to be just over. I'm going to get the actual number because I want to kind of give you exactly what it is. That's like saying we're short 375 400 unit buildings.
Yeah.
Over the next 3 to 4 years. So let me make sure that that's clear. I got to always look over to our producer. In order for us to keep up, we're going to be short from now until the next 4 years, 375 400 unit buildings in terms of demand. So we're not even we're completely short. We don't even have not even close to the supply that we need to
to further exemplify your point here, that has nothing to do with all the construction that's being done currently. Yeah. That has nothing to do with all the houses that are being built currently. That has nothing to do with anything that is currently in our pipeline. Correct. So this is all, if we needed to keep up with the demand, we have to get 400 or 375 brand new buildings.
400 unit buildings.
400 unit buildings.
Not just regular mid-rise buildings.
What is it, a 400 unit?
400 unit
What is that?
buildings.
Like how many units would it be in like a
decent
floor?
amount of floors, buddy. Depending on how they build it, right? That's a lot of floors.
It sounds like a lot of floors.
A lot of floors.
It sounds like a lot.
375, buddy. That's a city.
My building, I think, is only about maybe 10 units per floor.
Right.
So that would be 40 floor buildings.
Easily.
375
and remember, guys,
40 floor
that
buildings.
is for the Greater Toronto. That's just for GTA.
Yeah.
That's for GTA. For Greater Toronto area to keep up with demand. We're going to need 370. We're going to be short. Because I keep saying that we're going to need, but it's really, we're going to be short.
We're going to be short because based on
how things are going right now, and based on the demand that's coming, we're going to be short 100 to 150,000 units, which is crazy.
This is a problem that Toronto will have based on it being. I think we're the biggest city in Canada, right? Like it's not a contest. We're bigger than Vancouver
in terms of population. Yes.
So I don't know about in terms of in terms of immigration, but they were also talking about Toronto and Vancouver being the two markets that do attract a lot of immigration.
Right. And majority of them do come to Toronto, to the
Toronto,
Toronto
right?
area.
So like a lot of people when I speak to them about these kind of things, like they'll compare data that they hear from anywhere, like from whatever real estate. Like we're not the only real estate podcast. Apparently, I didn't know.
What?
I didn't know that there's others.
What? No,
I
buddy.
thought that
no.
when you came to me,
we are the only one.
when you came to me and said, "Let's start a real estate podcast," I'm like, patent that idea.
Done.
Patent that idea. Because somebody somewhere is gonna they're gonna steal this idea. This is the greatest idea of all time.
No, they wouldn't.
But Lord behold, there's other podcasts out
Right.
there, and there's other sources of information out there, and these sources may not be in Toronto. So we're speaking about a very specific market.
Yeah.
Although we give information that does transcend other markets or whatever, when we're speaking specifically about the GTA, the information that you got about Calgary, the information you got about Montreal, even the information you got about LA or New York,
Very different.
it's different
Very
information.
different. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because obviously, like, it's when you live in Toronto, you can, or in GTA Greater Toronto area, you can feel like you're in a bubble in a way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what you're experiencing, that's not the case in Nova Scotia.
No.
That's not the case in Newfoundland. That's
No.
not the case in Calgary, or Saskatchewan. Like, they're experiencing a very different market. So
Yes.
it's very important to note that when I'm talking right now, I'm specifically focusing on the Greater Toronto area, because anywhere else just outside of Ontario may be very different.
Very different,
right?
exactly. So although we appreciate our viewers
Yes.
and our listeners from all over the world, internationally. I hear we're international now. Someone in
time.
Australia subscribed, so
Let's
I
go.
guess that makes it international. That one person in
international
Australia. We're international
podcast broadcasting around the world.
So
Sorry,
everybody
I like
listening,
my echo, by the way.
I hate your echo every week. I hate it. Everyone that's listening outside of the GTA, please take this information and listen. But you can always feel free to ask us, and we can maybe do some research on your particular area. But we're speaking very much about the GTA. And with that said, when we speak about things like today's topic, why you need to invest in real estate, we're speaking about our market, right?
Yeah.
And let's get right into it.
So let's go.
Why? That's a bold statement.
Well, I mean, like, let's just go, without even getting into it, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's just go based on what I just
I know.
went
Our
right,
30-minute intro.
I just gave you 10 years
of history.
investing in the Greater Toronto area.
So we answered this
from 2011 to 2021, and you've seen the jump from $485 to $1.1 million.
We're clearly done here.
Like,
The
we
podcast
don't need
is
to do
over.
anything. Like, that's it. We're done.
Invest in real estate, guys. It's been
See
a
you
great
guys.
episode.
Talk to you guys later. Okay,
Drop
thanks.
mic.
Yeah, thank you. Well, that was good.
Did a good job. We really drove the point home there.
Right?
Nah, but yo, like you read the statement, and like obviously not everyone. We only have 75 subscribers. I think there's a little bit more people in Toronto right now. There's people that don't listen to us, so they might not know. When someone says it makes that bold, that bold statement, why you need to invest in real estate. Fill them in, brother.
I've already given you the reasons, didn't I?
Yes. So let me pull this up. I got
This
it.
guy, every time, you want to know what's funny? We go through it. Obviously, we prepare for the podcast and the whole nine. I literally gave, we discussed the points and all that kind of
Which
stuff.
I have on my phone ready to go. I'm prepared. Always prepared. One. Bill, I get to go with my voice now. This is a numbered list.
Chris, I can't stand this voice.
So stop making numbered lists.
Go ahead.
Build long-term wealth.
Yes. Building long-term wealth. So, I mean, pretty much the example that I gave with the, looking at all the Mays.
10 years. 10 years.
10 years, guys.
10
right?
years of ups.
Literally May 2011 to May 2016 to May 2021. Look at the increase.
Yeah.
Like, building long-term wealth, it went from $485 to $751,000 5 years later.
Yeah.
To $1.1 million another 5 years, right? Like, so within the 10 years, Chris is destroying everything right now.
People from everywhere in the world are calling into Chris right now because they need this information. I told you we're international. Chris has Skype. Nobody even has Skype.
Nobody does Skype anymore.
Chris's Skype is going off with callers waiting to hear the information. Why they need. That's clearly what's happening.
Fair enough. Yeah, no.
But
So building long-term wealth. I mean, based on those examples, you can see it within the 10 years, it went from 485 to 1.1, and that's the average for the whole of Greater Toronto area.
Correct.
Like, clearly real estate, and it's been said many of times, real estate made the most millionaires in North America. Like people just investing in real estate. You have obviously some people that we don't want to mention, but like your Trumps and your different people that invested. But real estate made the most millionaires from what we've seen in North America. It is when you buy and hold, that strategy can make you a lot of money. And it can make you wealthy.
And like the wealth and being rich is like I don't know if it's just pop culture or hip hop culture that's made a big differentiation in that regard, but rich is really having the money to spend on your own life, and wealth is synonymous with generational wealth, and that's really talking about your kids and your family. We spoke yesterday about how you can really help out your kids by investing in real estate.
I think that the biggest thing right now with that's going on in the media right now, not just media, just the conversations that's happening, is people are looking at their kids and their 4-year-olds or their 5-year-olds or their 10-year-olds or their 15-year-old and like, buddy, how are you going to afford real estate? How are you going to buy your first home? I bought my first home, and this is the parent speaking, of course. I bought my first home, and it cost $485,000 in 2011. You know, $1.1 million.
A lot of them, at least people our age, bought it way even before 2011.
Like my parents in the 200s, and I know you and I were even talking about your situation, like with where you grew up in Markham. Where
my mom first bought in '88. And I mean, it was a long stretch between 88 and I guess you could say what's equally the bottom, because there was like the ups and downs that existed.
And 88, 89, 90, that was a very rough time in real estate. Oh, no, sorry. It was a great time, and then it wasn't.
It got a rough time, right?
It dropped.
But where we sold just a little bit on top of where we were before. I think she bought somewhere around 200,000, sold maybe about 210,000 about 10 years later. But fast forward to this point.
We looked on MLS
to this point,
and we saw, was it 1.4?
1.1? No, yes, worth 1.4.
Yes,
which was a 1 point. I remember we're estimating what we thought it was.
What was the difference?
And we were thinking it was going to be worth around 1.1, but it was up 1.1 million.
Correct.
From what we sold it.
Had somebody invested in real estate back in '96 for 207 or 210 or whatever that price was, 210, and just lived in the home. During that time, you do your renovations, your kids grow up in the whole nine, but you lived in the home up till this point. We just checked that same house. It was in Markham. That same house was worth, or is worth now, $1.4 million.
Yeah. So you're a millionaire just by paying your mortgage.
Just by paying your mortgage and living.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, obviously you always hear about people with renting and why they, I hate renting. This is the argument that one would bring, obviously, the difference between renting and owning your home. Like, you're just living. You're not doing anything different.
You're covering the same expenses.
Changing the roof when the roof needs to be changed. Change the furnace, maybe upgrade your kitchen a little bit, but you're just living. And just by living in your home, you have upwards of $1.1 million in equity, which is crazy. You're now a millionaire. Right?
And even in my mom's situation, because if she sold, she didn't make crazy money, but she took that money and bought another property, a cheaper property actually, and she still.
Your mom's doing great.
My mom's doing well.
You guys are doing great.
You know what I mean?
Just again by living.
So even in her sad story of only appreciating $10,000 over 10 years. She still took that money and reinvested it in real estate, right? If somebody had purchased the same time as my mom and even had gone through those downs or whatever and said, "Oh, my house is losing value or whatever," it's about holding.
Correct.
The market always comes back to where it needs to be. You know what I mean? It's like we've spoken about this
tons of times because like people look at the ups and downs of real estate, and obviously when it's down, it sucks.
Yeah.
But you're comparing it, even when it drops in price, you're comparing it to what you just saw probably a few months ago when it was at the highest.
Exactly.
But not realizing that you started off at 400.
Yeah.
Or you started off at 600 or 700 or $800,000.
Buy in the peak. We talked about it as well.
Even if you
they bought in the peak.
There were situations where I had clients that bought during the time when 2017 was when the market was crazy. It was insane. I talk about this in multiple podcast episodes. And then we had a drop in the market in April. Or that's when the Fair Housing Plan came, and then the market started to go in the other direction. Yeah. People that bought during a time when it was at its highest, and now a few months later, the house is only worth 50, some people even $200,000 less.
Yeah.
We're still over time are now good because
Over
as
time.
of May, like as of last year, they literally bounced back. Like the prices are right back to where it was before, and obviously as of today, May 2021, they're way better off.
Yeah, and
right?
I was
So
gonna.
it's just about holding. Don't panic.
Don't panic.
Don't panic. Don't sell. And it's the same thing with stocks, of course. Don't
I was
sell
literally just gonna say that. I was gonna bring up the similarities with like a Bitcoin,
Right.
But where it's very different is we don't becomes brand new.
Right.
Real estate's been around forever, and that brings us actually right into the second.
There you
point
go.
That
was a
here.
nice little. That was a nice transition, buddy. Because I obviously could see the second point. So when he did that, when he
you
did
can
the
see
Bitcoin,
it now. Magically, you have the points.
when he did his little thing there, I was like, oh, cool, buddy. That was kind of cool.
In fact, erase all the points. I have the points now.
You're not the point captain now. You're not the point captain.
I am the man with the points now. Real estate outperforms most other asset classes.
Yes. So I mean, we obviously stocks are doing like. I speak on real estate. I'm the real estate expert.
You didn't even want to finish that sentence.
Yeah, because
obviously stocks are doing.
The people that are coming, the people that come for you, they come for you. I invested in stocks and all that, but of course my focus is on real estate. Like I know real estate. I've been servicing clients for years doing this. Like I know it inside out. I see other ways and other classes that you can invest in. And of course, stocks is a great thing as well. You just put your money in the S&P 500, just in an index fund, and just let it sit. Same thing. It's going to grow over time. You don't sell when the friggin' market's crashing. You keep it, and it's going to continue to grow. You obviously have stuff like cryptocurrencies that people are investing in right now that are doing well. I know some people that made some money in crypto that, but the thing with crypto that it's a little scary in terms of not having the track record, the history behind it. Whereas real estate,
10 years old of crypto.
you know what I mean, right? So whereas
My house is 20 years old.
and that, you know what I mean? So real estate, you can look back at years, decades and decades and upon decades.
My brand new house is 20 years old.
Right.
That's what you say. So you say decades and decades of years. Yeah. Like the newer properties have more history. That exact new property has more history than crypto does.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, so the fact that we have a track record of decades of making millionaires, stocks also has that same track record. That's why, I mean, you know what I mean? Like there's other asset classes that do well. I could tell you right now that real estate outperforms a lot of those asset classes.
Whether the mature ones or the
100% over time, for sure. And again, more the track record speaks for itself.
Yeah. The thing about me in real estate, or why I like it is, yes, I can go and invest with a tried and true company like Microsoft or Apple or what have you, Ford. I can't touch my stock.
Right.
I can go and touch my house.
Right.
I can see my house.
Right.
I can physically do things to my. I can't tell. I don't even know who the CEO of Apple is right now, and I know Bill Gates isn't the CEO of Microsoft, so I can't even tell insert name here what to do with the company in order to help my investment do better.
Right.
I know I'm in full control over certain aspects of real estate, even in the sense of just selling and moving to a different property, but staying within the same realm of what it is.
And I mean, just to touch on that, there's
I was
other.
about to go to the third point.
Oh, go to it. No, because
I said I was about to accidentally. I'm like, even leverage it. Oh,
I was literally gonna bring that up, right? Not other asset. There's asset classes, of course, that you can still leverage, of course. But real estate is obviously one that we all know.
Yeah.
Where you can put 5%. What can you put 5% down on? Get somebody else to loan you the 95%.
Yeah.
And you own this property.
thing.
Obviously, the bank still kind of
Makes their money
if you don't
somehow.
pay, and if you don't pay, they'll take your house for sure.
They'll reclaim that.
But when you're refinancing on that whole portion, right? Like, and when you're seeing the appreciation. Sorry, let me rephrase that. When you see appreciation, you're seeing appreciation on the not just on your 5% that you put down. You're seeing appreciation on the 100%, including the bank's loan.
Yeah, the one that they own, exactly.
Like what else can you tell me? Like what other asset classes that you could see that with?
I really don't know.
There's probably insurance. I know there's certain situations when insurance where people kind of play around with that as well. I'm not saying that the other asset classes don't exist. I just know I could speak for real estate. Real estate is one of the more popular ones. It's the one that we know tried and true.
Yeah.
The one.
So speaking a little bit more detail about leverage. I know we just have it here as a broad point. Like, what is the benefit of using your house as leverage?
Well, leverage is a great one because you mentioned kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that a lot of parents, even just with clients that I speak to that are saying like, hey, how are my kids going to get a house?
Yeah.
Like I'm just worried about them getting through college or university. After that, now how the heck are they going to be able to afford a home? There's no way. There's not a lot of situations where you get a job that can that can give you that kind of money for a down payment for the 1.1s that we're seeing here.
Yeah.
But what we found, what we note in real estate is you can leverage your home. So if you have equity in your house, you can take that money, refinance, get what we call a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit, and borrow against your home to help your Johnny that's 17 years old and later on he's going to be looking to buy his first home. You can help Sally or whoever the person is, whatever the insert name here. You can help your child, or you can help your cousin, or you can help your grandchild. For all these grandparents that have houses that have tons of equity in it, you can help your grandchild by leveraging. And right now, I mean, I'm not. Again, some people say leveraging is bad. Some people say leveraging is good. It depends on who you speak to. But I know right now, especially with the interest rates being so low, it's a great opportunity for you to be able to help out your loved ones or help out your child in terms of buying another home.
We'll actually be talking a lot more about that in our seminar, our webinar that's coming up as well, right?
Right. And even in that seminar, that's not just for that's just an example in terms of your kids. For yourself, if you're looking to build a portfolio out, the fastest way to build a portfolio would be by refinancing, taking the money out, getting a HELOC, taking the money out, and going to buy that other property. Doing the same thing and continue. There's so many people out there that made tons of money. There's people that build out a whole portfolio of homes just from doing that exact strategy every single time. Every few, let's say 3 to 5 years, they're able to pull the money and go buy more. Pull the money, go buy more, and build your wealth that way.
Yeah.
And now you have all these properties. When you're ready to, maybe when you're in a better position, you can now give it to Sally or Johnny or whoever it is, right? So it's the leverage gives you options, right? So it's always good.
Essentially, if you really wanted to, that leverage could be used to buy some Bitcoin or something.
That's true. So people do that, right? Like people do take the leverage. So again, using the asset class of real estate to go buy other assets, which, as you said, the Bitcoins or the stocks and playing the spread, right? Like,
but
that's
me
a possibility.
personally, and a lot of other people, according to the documents that we've been reading, I wouldn't go and take my real estate money and go invest in something that's less risky, that has paid out less dividends than what that real estate has for the history. Right. I'm taking my real estate leverage and buying more real estate. And
even in situations, just one more situation I want to bring up that people kind of overlook. Also, taking the money and maybe being a private lender. That's an option as well. Like, I mean, that's something that somebody can do, where they can take the money out of their home and help somebody that's looking for a second mortgage, or whatever the situation is, or invest it as a private lender with these builders and these funds. Yeah. They'll give you a percentage every year. Like
joint ventures as well.
Joint ventures is a great one.
Two people taking out the leverage out of their homes and coming together to buy something, taking out small portions and putting it together. You can do that too. There's a lot of different things.
Lots of options when you in terms of leveraging your real estate.
Yeah, man. Which brings us to point 4, the secret of principal payback. And I didn't really get this one until you had to explain it to me.
So the secret of principal payback, especially if you have a rental. So there's two things. Principal payback, if you're paying, like on your principal residence, you're paying every single month your mortgage. Every single month, your mortgage is going down, which means you're building that equity, right? So that as just living, that's the whole argument, or not argument. That's the whole the first topic or the first point that we mentioned.
Yeah, just
living, live your life. Pay your bills on time, pay your mortgage. Every single time, a percentage of that is going towards your principal. Of course, you have to pay interest, but a percentage of that is going towards your principal, which you're paying down, which you're now building equity in. You know what I mean? That is with your principal residence. The other situation is if you have a student rental. Sorry, not a student, just a rental as a whole. Like if you're renting out, a condo or a duplex. It doesn't matter. If you have a rental, your tenant is paying down your like making those principal pay downs for you, right? So you're building equity by just your tenant paying it down.
And why you had to explain that one to me is because I was looking at the overall just increase of your house to, like, I was lumping appreciation and principal payback all into kind of the same. Like when your house increases in value and it's gone up $200,000, I'm kind of thinking the mortgage has been paid down plus the house is appreciated, but those are actually two completely separate things.
And people, because there's situations, and again, maybe not in the Greater Toronto area, but there's situations where people don't appreciate in value. For example, even like that situation where you just mentioned regarding like your mom with let's say bought for, you said $200,000, sold for $210,000. During that time you guys are living there, you guys are you're
10 years of
paying down on your principal.
Down, yeah.
Exactly, right? So you're building equity even though it's not appreciating like crazy, like how we're seeing here with the numbers in the GTA now. You're still, even, and I say that because there's situations where people are in, as I said, outside of Ontario, where they may not be seeing the appreciation that they would like, but they're paying down on their mortgage every single time. You're building equity that way as well, right? So,
Which I hate this, bro. I hate that this is written down.
Let's hear this.
I don't know who wrote this down. I'm 99% sure it wasn't me, because there are 3 pillars here. 3 pillars.
I love the word pillar. Tristan's pillars. Let's see. 3 pillars.
3 pillars. I'm substituting. I think these are 3 benefits.
I like pillars better.
No,
yeah,
3 benefits.
For those, sorry, the inside joke behind that is, of course, I mentioned pillars in our last episode, and these guys were laughing at me. Like, what's wrong with pillars? How come I can't have pillars?
Because they don't exist. These are things that, like, he takes a bunch of information and, like, intelligently sorts it into points that are digestible, but then labels it as something that's supposed to, like,
Tristian Clunis is 3 pillars of real estate.
Like what?
Of real estate investing.
And he just started putting his name on it.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Before he added his name on it, it was like something that was out there, like things that you should know, like the formula for calculating area or something. Yeah, you know what it is.
The 4 pillars. Tristan's 4 pillars of calculating.
When you put your name in it, at least people know it might be BS.
Wow. Jeez. So don't put my name in this one?
Well, now I know who to come for if it ends up being BS.
So I won't put my name in this one. I can't even take credit for this in any way, shape, or form.
It's
nothing.
3 pillars.
All the pillars that I bring up, let's just make sure that it's clear. They're not my pillars.
None of the pillars.
All of the information.
Now he wants to disown the pillars.
Yeah,
okay.
Because he made that point. Yeah, I don't want nobody coming for me. So yeah.
Anyways, the 3 main benefits that you can see from an investment property. What are the 3 forms that come back to?
There's multiple ways to benefit from real estate, but the three pillars that I like and that most investors like. The first one being, well, we already kind of talked about all of them, right?
Yeah.
But the first one is being appreciation. Appreciation, that's the one that you like.
The best.
You love that one. Mm-hmm. Wes loves the appreciation side. So appreciation, of course, was what we were talking about, where your house is worth $485,000 in 2011 of May, and now it's worth $750,000 in May 2016. Yep. Like during that time, your house has appreciated that much, right? The difference of that. So that's one of the best one.
in the GTA.
That's 100% the one that we love the most.
Then the one we just discussed.
We spoke about principal pay down. Principal pay down is another the second one, or third, whichever one. Second pillar that we have. And principal pay down, as I said to you guys just now, that's the whole, you just paying your mortgage, just making those payments. If you're renting it out, your tenant is paying down on your mortgage.
Yeah. And the third one, which we haven't discussed in this situation,
cash flow. So cash flow is so funny, because if you have a lot of people start real estate investing by reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. Did you read that book?
I did, but I didn't retain a lot of it. There's certain segments that I'll be like, oh, I remember reading about this. Right. But I read it from cover to cover, and a lot of it didn't.
Right. Yeah, no, Rich Dad Poor Dad is a great book. Chris, you read that as well or no? No, it's a great book. So a lot of people got started in real estate investing because of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he focuses on cash flow. Cash flow is king. That's his main thing. Cash flow is really, you obviously have a mortgage. So you have a mortgage that you have to be paying down on. Let's say, for example, you have a tenant and you're renting out this condo, your tenant's paying you rent, but you have a mortgage and you have property taxes, and if it's a condo, then you may have maintenance fees. The rent that you're receiving ideally will be covering your mortgage, will be covering your property taxes, and will be covering your maintenance fees. You hopefully would have your tenant pay their own hydro and whatever extras that are not included. Yeah. Your tenant will pay that extra, but then you have all those things covered under the rent, and maybe once it's all said and done and it's all paid for, you're getting like $100 or $200 or $300 a month. That $100, $200, and $300, that's your cash flow. So that's a cash flow positive property. Yeah, that is a beautiful thing, because every single month you're receiving $200 or $300. Sometimes people are getting $500, per month in cash flow. Yeah. You're getting that in your pocket after paying all your expenses. It's almost like their profit. You know what I mean? That you're receiving.
So that's like the ideal investment property situation.
100%. I mean, if you can hit the trifecta, you're thinking the same thing.
Same
I
thing.
saw you thinking.
That's it. That's a hat trick, bro.
If you can reach the trifecta where you're obviously you have a property that you bought that appreciates nicely every year. You've seen it appreciate really, really nice. It appreciates well. You are also getting, you're obviously getting the principal pay down because your tenant's paying down your mortgage or you're paying down your mortgage. And then cash flow always comes into play when you have a rental, rental property.
For an investment property.
So
exactly.
for specifically investment properties, you have a tenant paying your mortgage, paying your property taxes, paying all your expenses, but then also, you know, you got a little extra there. You got a couple $100 or 200 or 300. That is, and it's a lot harder to find. Winner, I like that. It's a lot harder to find that in Greater Toronto area because of how the prices are, right?
So it's kind of a trade-off in that situation because you're heavy on the appreciation and a little bit lower on the potential for cash flow.
Yeah.
Whereas you can be somewhere at Calgary, Edmonton, one of the West cities. I don't even know if those. I mean, I'm always picking on them. Maybe Nova Scotia, Halifax, but where your property's not appreciating as much, but because the price is low and the rents may be high in that particular area or whatever, you have a lot of cash flow month to month. You have a lot of cash flow, and even more so, you can take all that cash flow and put it towards paying down your mortgage faster if you wanted
100%
to as well.
And it's so funny that you said it because I don't think there's a wrong way. I think there's some people that focus on the cash flow and they don't rate you if you're not getting a positive cash flow, right? They only focus on positive cash flow. They say cash flow is king. I don't think it's necessarily the wrong way to just focus on appreciation. It's just your risk tolerance. That's one. Yeah. How conservative are you? You know, those are the things that you got to think about. And I've seen situations where clients are okay with taking a property that's negative cash flow, that is costing them money because they're appreciating the condos appreciating or the house is appreciating in value so much, right? So. Just depends on your situation.
Well, there you have it, man.
That's it, man.
Your 3 pillars.
The 3 pillars. I mean, again, there's other reasons and benefits in real estate. Thank you, Chris. There's other benefits in real estate investing, sure. but I those are the 3 that really stand out.
Well, the three different ways you can make money, the 4 benefits that
there's a lot of things going on. Hey, we talk about 3, 4,
750 up to 1.1 million, the whole GTA.
Who's remembering all these numbers?
Hey, man. If you're a robot, you will like this podcast.
Fair enough. Well, thank you guys. Wes, thank you for always being here, my man. I mean, I do this with you. I'm saying that it really is our show.
Obligation.
It's really our show.
I'm putting in my community service hours.
Wow, it's really our show.
I'm handcuffed to the table. You can't see it.
I just don't want to. I can't call him host. I don't want to just give him that whole. No, we're not having any of that. But as always, tell them where they can find you.
At West Hype on all platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and that's all. So not all platforms.
So sorry, is it all platforms or not all platforms?
I don't like any other. I think I have pretty much every platform, but I don't post on LinkedIn. I don't post on Snapchat. Yeah, you can't have my WhatsApp. Go on.
Fair enough. And I'm at Tristian Clunis, Tristian, Clunis, Clunis, and that's on majority of platforms. I have, that's on your TikToks and your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn,
majority
YouTube.
Of platforms. That's what I'll say next time.
So please, if you like the content that you're seeing or listening to, please subscribe, like, comment below. We would love to hear from you. We want to know, if there's certain things that we're missing, things that we can talk about on future podcasts. Let us know, man. Let us know in the comments, please.
And subscribe again, because next time I come here, I want to announce that we have 175.
We got 75 subscribers. We need at least 100, please.
No, 175 I want to announce.
Fair enough. Well, thanks for listening to us and watching us. I hope this was informative to you. And, of course, as always, if you're clueless, ask Clunis. Have a good one.